Welcome back, everybody, to Forge News, your place for bite-sized gaming news that will come out with the most important stories that you care about. Today's stories are going to be about PlayStation VR's new lineup for this year, the new Switch model being reported to be in production, and finally, Intel losing a major patent case and having to pay one of the biggest payouts in court damages in US history. So let's get right into it. On to our first segment, which is Sony's list of games coming to the PSVR later this year. Last month, Sony had a conference detailing the upgrades for a new PSVR, which includes a higher resolution screen, a redesigned controller, and a single cable coming out of the headset instead of a cable box. So it should be a much better headset, more on par with the Quest 2 behind me. And with its lineup of games, it's shaping to be one of the better VR experiences you can have if you have a PlayStation 5. The first game on our lineup is Doom 3 VR, a complete retooling of the original 2004 shooter that comes with its 2 expansions and reimagined for use with the gun-like accessory that comes with PSVR. Okay, second up we have Song in the Smoke, a new survival game based around hunting, exploring, and crafting. It looks pretty interesting with all the varied creatures and stuff, but we'll just have to see how it plays. It seems like another survival game to me. But next up, we have Zenith, a JRPG MMO that seems to have an in-depth combat system, and the one I'm most personally excited for. Next up, we have Fracked, an action-adventure game made from the same people who made Phantom Covert Ops, that eccentric kayak-based shooter. And they seem to be continuing their wacky stuff plus guns formula, which introduces skiing and climbing into the mix. So I think this one is also going to be pretty interesting to see how it turns out. Next up, we have After the Fall, a fast-paced co-op FPS set in a alternate frozen 1980s LA. It gives me kind of a Last of Us vibes from it, and I'm pretty interested to see how it's going to turn out, especially with it being a co-op FPS for an accessory that not a lot of people already have. So we'll see how it turns out. And lastly, we have a sequel to the popular escape room title, I Expect You to Die, which has proven to be one of the most popular VR games since its launch back in 2016. And all of these games are slated to launch later this year, but hopefully with the ongoing pandemic, everything will release on time, but these times are tentative right now. On to our second segment, where we're talking about the Switch being released with a new model later this year. Last year, Bloomberg reported that a new model was being worked on by Nintendo, where it was a Pro model being able to output to 4K and other upgrades. And now we finally have some details on what it's supposed to be. It features an OLED screen that is 7 inches across, which makes it substantially bigger than the original Switch's 6 inches and the Switch Lite's 5 inches. And the big kicker here is that it's able to be output in 4K resolution, which I'm very interested to see how Nintendo handles porting all of these games at playable frame rates at a 4K resolution. Because the Switch isn't the most powerful console, but I'm sure Nintendo has some upscaling or other graphical fidelity tricks up their sleeves. Okay, for our last segment today, we have Intel losing a patent case against a relatively unknown company and being forced to pay $2.18 billion in damages. Now, this is some of the highest numbers in US history, So it's a pretty major case going on in the technology circle right now. They are expected to appeal the verdict, but one of Intel's lawyers had to say during the trial that this company has no other products, no other revenue streams, and they acquired these patents over just random acquisitions over the last 2 years, and they wanted to just enforce them randomly. Now, patent law here in the US doesn't require that companies know what each patent is. If you break it, you buy it basically. You have to pay the people that owns it. So with it with Intel being such a major company in the technology circle, it's pretty unexpected that they lost this battle and they are expected to appeal this verdict. Thank you everybody for watching the first part of Forge News, your place for small, bite-sized gaming content here on the Forge. We will start putting out videos at least weekly covering the most important gaming news, and if more stories show up, then we will have more videos. So don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you guys again next time. Thank you, and see ya.